Hi, I'm Tommy. Welcome back to Buff Chef. Okay, I actually had a request from one of my clients and she was asking me, hey, what about potatoes? What's the story? Are they really as bad as people say? Am I going to get fat if I eat them? So I got to thinking about that and I actually did a little bit of research on my own. And what I found was a potato skin. In other words, if you take a potato and you cut it in half and you hollow out most of the meat, now you leave what they call the adhering meat in the potato skin. In other words, it's got like a layer of skin, but you've taken the majority of the meat out of that. It's 65 to 70 calories, and that's it. So that gives us all kinds of room to put all kinds of neat things in there and still definitely make it well under our 500 calorie, threshold right there. And certainly underneath our 500 calorie, budget, because we're actually using leftover things and things that we already have in the house to make some really neat dishes. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these guys in half. I'm going to hollow them out and I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to stuff it with some great stuff for like a side dish, for like eggs for breakfast, okay? And your leftover dishes from last night's meal, you can go ahead and you can cut those guys up, put them in a potato skin, take them to work, microwave them. What a wonderful meal. So we're going to go ahead and get all this together. I'm going to show you how it's done, and here we go. Okay, first things first, we've baked our potatoes and we have let them cool. That's very important, of course. So what I'm going to do, I've already split one in half. I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to gently cut each one in half. And again, a sharp knife, just like with everything else, is a real godsend when you're talking about cooking. So let's go ahead and cut these guys right straight in half, like so. Okay. So we end up with several half potatoes, okay? Just like so. Now, I've done this a couple of different ways, but the method I found, frankly, I think is best, is I'm gonna go ahead and take my potato skin, and I'm just gonna take a spoon, probably a medium-sized spoon, and I'm gonna kind of cut around the edges of my potato skin, just like this. Okay? I don't want to go too deep because I don't want to puncture the skin if I can avoid that, but I want to kind of cut it around so that I can actually scoop from underneath, just like so. And you're taking that meat out of there. And you can still see that there's some potato meat left. You're not actually stripping it completely, but you're taking, let's say, 85% of that out of there. Okay, so you get a skin that looks like this. Let's go ahead and do the rest real quick. And once you get into this, you can do this so fast, and you can do several in just a few minutes. You can watch my technique here. Just like so. Then you scoop up underneath. Bingo. Just like that. Yes, we're removing the bulk of the potato, but we don't really want the carbs in that anyway. So, another nice thing about potato skins is they're high in iron, potassium, things of that nature. So it's really a win-win for the body. Especially once you take the carb factor out of there, you're really going to enjoy this. Just like so. Okay. Just like that. Let's do the rest real quick. Cut around there like so. Tell you what, I'm not going to do all these on camera, but I'm going to do just a couple more. I want to make sure that you understand how to do this, because this is just a real handy thing to do, and potatoes are so cheap, and again, their skins are high in a lot of things. Let's do one more on camera. You want to make sure that your potatoes are actually baked, by the way. That's going to require about 350 for at least an hour. You know, depending on your oven. I mean, I'm sure everyone's baked a potato in their oven before, so you kind of know the feel of what you're doing. I'm going to set these guys aside. So what I have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I have 8 skins, okay? Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leftovers. This is actually chicken and broccoli and mushrooms, onions, and carrots from last night's meal. I'm going to give them a quick chop to really kind of cut them up a little bit finer than they already are. So here we go, just real quick like. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? Kind of mix it up, make sure you got your veggies and your meats and all that stuff, you know, kind of evenly spaced in your, there you go, just like so. And I'm going to use my hands, which of course wash your hands, make sure you're very clean. I'm just going to go ahead and stuff them in there like this, okay? So that's one. And this is number 2. So what you're looking at here is, let's say, perfect example would be lunch tomorrow, under 300 calories. Certainly under 500 calories. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of there, which we'll do, just for the heck of it. That much cheese is really almost nothing in calories. Now, we're going to move to our breakfast. This is something that you can keep from like last night, or this morning rather, and you can stuff your potato with it, just like so. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead, a little bit more, just like that. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and throw some cheese on that as well, because I'm a cheese guy. It's fairly low in calories for the most part, and it's of course high in calcium, things of that nature. So there's one. Let's go ahead and do another breakfast potato. Put it in there like so, make sure everything's cut up as finely as possible. Okay. Oh, there's onions in this, there's some apples in this. This is just going to be fabulous. Really going to love this. Okay. And again, a little bit of cheese on top. Not a whole lot, just some. Just like so, okay? Now let's talk about a side dish. And this could be for chicken, for pork, for whatever, you know, main course you're making. We're going to take, I was not cooperating, hang on. We're going to take a little bit of broccoli. We're going to toss it in our potato skin, just like so, okay? Then we're going to put some cheese in there. We're going to put a little bit more cheese in this one, because it's technically broccoli and cheese, so we want to make sure that we have enough, obviously. I'm going to take one more broccoli, just like that, more cheese, so there we go. Now I've got a couple extra skins, and I definitely have some extra food, so what I'm going to do, doggone it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more with the leftovers, toss it in there like so, okay, a little bit of cheese on top, not much, just some, and I have a little bit more egg from the breakfast, so I'm going to stuff that in this one. That's some onion. That still smells wonderful, even though it was cooked this morning. Okay. Last of our cheese. Toss it in there like so. Oh, that's going to be just fabulous. Look at that. Look at that. Wait till you see it once it comes out of the oven. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to toss these in an oven for I think about 10 minutes at about 350 degrees. You want to start taking an eye on them about, I would say, about 5 to 7 minutes. And again, depending on your oven, because all ovens are like children, they all have different personalities. So we're going to go ahead and toss them in there, and I'll be back in just a little while. Okay, I've taken my skins out of the oven, and again, I had them in the oven for about 325 to 350 degrees, depending on your oven, of course. Had them in there for about 10 minutes, even though I'd certainly recommend checking them after about 5 minutes. So what we ended up with is 3 potato skins that are designated for breakfast. The reason being is that they have scrambled eggs inside. They have some mushrooms. They have some onions. They have some cheese. And all 3 of these guys, you know, we're talking about less than 300 calories, probably at most 400 calories for this entire meal right here, which is going to fill you up for breakfast. And we're talking about a cost of about $1, you know, $1.25, something like that. All right. Now up top here, we have skins that we stuffed with our leftovers from last night, which of course was chicken breast, and it had broccoli, and it had some onions, and it had some mushrooms, and of course we added some cheese to that. Okay, again, 3 of those guys, again, cost-wise, probably less than $2, I would think for certain. All right, because we already factored our cost in after we made the main meal. So we're talking about roughly 300 calories for all 3 of those guys, which is going to fill you up. Now over here we have just regular broccoli and cheese stuffed skins, and we're talking probably about 50 cents a piece at most, probably less than that. And we're also talking about, you know, probably 150 calories a piece because there's nothing but broccoli and cheese in there. It's all good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give these a try, and now it's time for my favorite part, the taste, of course. I'm going to go ahead and give one of these guys a try. Here we go. That is going to make an outstanding breakfast. You're going to love this. You just jump up, toss them in the microwave for about a minute, probably less. Oh, what a meal. And again, it's something that you just made from leftovers that, you know, things that you've already cooked, you've already paid for. It's basically free for you, okay? So I suggest giving all this a try. And again, for more tips and tricks and things of that nature, please visit us at www.buffchef.com. And of course, hit me up on Facebook. And remember, learn and be happy. I'm Tommy, the Buff Chef.